There we go. Recording in progress.
Hello, YouTube, you motherfuckers.
Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, dear me. Hello, people.
Shall we start?
Let's.
Right, welcome to Around the Console.
Oh,
I am
hang on. Sorry.
No, you see, you weren't ready to start then.
That was far too quick, wasn't it?
It's almost like I know what I'm on about. I know what I'm doing.
We always have to fanny around for a few minutes when
Yeah,
you
we're
say
having a
ready
little
to start.
chat.
Yeah, usually somebody
like
talks
easy,
about his
isn't
new
it?
DVDs.
Yeah.
I did buy a new camera for my video recording.
Oh, have you? What have you got?
Yeah,
Posh.
I've got myself. No, it's a cheaper. I got it off eBay for 40 quid off second hand.
So we're going to be able to see you cutting yourself in HD proper.
Yeah, we're already in. You can already see it in HD, but I don't think it's any different. But the thing is that now I can connect it to my lap PC and do the editing on there. In
Oh,
DaVinci
cool.
Resolve.
Oh, with that new open source
learning.
suite, that editing suite, what you got?
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve. It looks all right.
Fully licensed and purchased.
It's
Open
free.
source. Yeah.
It's free.
Oh,
Open
it's
source.
free.
Yeah,
There's,
it's very, very
there's
good.
loads of add-ons what people have made for it.
Yeah, there's tons of good shit. Anyway, it's not an advert for fucking DaVinci
Has
Resolve. is it?
there been any Doctor Who news since last time we
I don't
met
think
each
there
other?
has.
No.
Nothing. Nothing's
Oh, we're
happened.
in the FA Cup final tomorrow. We'll be watching that.
That's
That's
Doctor
true.
Who news, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
Doctor
sure-
Who news. I thought it was just general news.
So no big Doctor Who news.
No,
Nah.
I don't think there's any. No,
I think it's been
hell.
done to death all over the internet. So who wants to listen to us?
Everyone have a piece to say, won't they? I don't care. I'll just wait and see what happens. That's it, innit? There you go. Hot take.
Is that
from
what
around the
everybody
console.
says? Is that
That's
what
what I
everybody
say.
says?
That's what I say. No, everyone's got a fucking piece to say all the time, haven't they? Though
I'm not,
I mean, like,
saying
we're
anything
just-
about it. Yeah.
we're just mates getting together, having a chat
It
about
is,
Doctor Who 'cause we love
it
it.
is slightly
Whereas-
annoying that they don't just drop it when the regeneration is a surprise.
I know.
I want it to be like that. I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
them
But
to announce
it isn't going to be like that, is it? Because there's got to be some exterior filming somewhere. Somebody's going to
Yeah.
spot who the actor
Yeah,
is.
but that's fine if it gets spoiled by some nefarious means. That's all good, but don't BBC fucking promote it.
The other
Yeah.
thing as well, though, they haven't actually announced him as the 14th Doctor.
No,
They've
they've
just announced him as the Doctor. So and all these other rumours that apparently Russell T Davies
here
put
we
out.
fucking go.
Shush. All that Russell T Davies put out, where he says, I'll put out a load of false rumours. I mean, he might have put out a David Tennant rumour, he might have put out the Hugh Grant rumour, all these stuff that he's been put out, because all could have been false, just to disguise the fact that Ncuti Gatwa is going to be the new Doctor. But
Can we confirm how to pronounce his first name? Because I mean, I'm not going to know.
Beauty.
Ncuti Gatwa.
Shooty.
Shoot.
Yeah, if you go to our Twitter profile, you will see a link to Benjamin Cook, and he's got Ncuti Gatwa actually pronouncing his name.
Right.
So
Okay, that's
you will
useful.
see it on there.
It's useful for us fucking Luddite idiots who don't know shit.
Yeah. But we'll
Anyway,
see what happens, won't we? Because I don't think I'm going to be into it. But we'll see what happens.
What do you mean not
I
going to be
think-
into it?
I think they've gone too young. And it's
No,
annoying.
people said that about Matt, though, didn't
No,
they?
I don't mean age, because Matt Smith was like perfect. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "That's the Doctor."
Yeah.
Whereas this new guy, like you showed some clips on that, and I just find him an
Yeah.
irritating young person.
Yeah.
But he's playing an irritating young person on.
He's not. He's playing the
Sex
Doctor.
Education. Yeah,
But that's a different character, isn't it?
It's
a
It's an
different
actor.
We'll see
No, but I
how it
mean,
goes.
in life as well, like he dresses like wank, and he
Oh,
just
I
looks
mean,
like a bit of a.
I don't know that that's got any bearing on how he will be
Yeah.
a doctor.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
Doesn't have
always
any
going to be reeling because it's not Paul McGann, is it? So fuck him.
Never know. On these specials might pop up.
But we'll see, won't we? Should we do a podcast?
Yeah.
There we go. That's the YouTube bit done. You see there, just a little bit of chat for the bonus of YouTube, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, for both of the watchers.
How many people actually watch on YouTube? Is it just Cliff's mum?
Tens, Craig. Tens.
Tens of
Ten.
people.
That's 10
Wow.
people. Oh my God, I didn't realise. I better start actually doing my hair for him.
Yeah, I mean, you should at least make an effort, Craig.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I've made an effort. I've even calmed my beard.
Oh my
I've
God.
turned up. What more fucking do you want?
That's very
Right.
true. I've scratched my face with an armband.
Oh,
Alfred scratched my face with an armband. Armbands are fucking lethal. Who
I
does
think,
that?
I think Alfred's are pretty lethal as well, by the
Yeah.
from what I know.
When I
from
say
England.
armbands, they were knives.
Yeah.
We're doing this
Yeah.
podcast and what?
Yeah, but I was waiting for you lot to shut the fuck up, wasn't I?
Sorry, boss.
Well, don't apologise, Cliff. It's
Cliff-
not your fault. It's Bob's
Cliff
fault.
Cliff hasn't said anything, but he's the
I'm
one
trying to get my
apologising.
camera right because I looked dead dark.
You do look dead dark, but that's fine.
It's that
goes
Salford
with you.
shade.
Yeah, it's just Salford filth.
Yeah.
It's the air leaves a smug on you.
Right. Welcome to Around the Console. I am John, and I'm joined by Cliff, Suki,
Yay!
Bob, Craig. Today, we are talking about the third serial of the 20th season of Doctor Who, Mawdryn Undead. Let's see what the guys think. And we will start with you, Suki.
Oh, okay. This is it's a romp. It's a good story. It's a bit meandering, and they've brought in a great character in Turlough, but they've had to keep him separate because they can't actually, because his motivation in this story is to kill the Doctor, and they have to keep him separate from the Doctor. But everything else, the Brigadier is brilliant in this. The two different versions of it, and I just think it was a good little romp.
Excellent. Clifton.
As you know, I'm not a big fan of Fifth Doctor, but I do love this story. It's brilliant. I love every part of it. I love the it's a thriller. I even love the sets, everything. I'll go on it more details later, but
Excellent.
yeah, big thumbs up from me.
Bobby Doodah trouser pants.
I love it. Like Cliff, honestly, it's one of the ones I remember when I got my VHSs. And you've just got so much awesome bonkers Doctor Who, Brigadier, all this. Oh, it's just great. And I've always loved it. Every time I've watched it, I've loved it, but I've not watched it for a while. So I'm pleased that this was. I kind of was like, I've seen this loads, like I normally am, and then I've watched it, and I was like, I still stand by. This is probably up there in my top 5 Doctor Who adventures. I adore it. It's amazing.
Craigie Waggy.
Loved it, actually. Yeah, I was really excited. It's one that I always think is just good, but when I actually watched it, I really, really, really enjoyed watching it. I found it really novel. I found it quite original. Found it really well acted. Great sets. Yeah, it was a big thumbs up from me.
Excellent. Well, in my personal opinion, I fucking loved it too. I thought it was great acting. It was great direction. There was some shit in it, but it's Doctor Who, so there's gonna be. Yeah. But I've got to be honest, the acting and writing was fantastic. It was proper fucking dialogue. The companions got a little bit sidelined. I mean, it's certainly dialogue-wise, and this looked like an idiot all the way through. But it was really well directed, and some of these scenes were just mint. So well done, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So let's break it down.
I kind of don't expect this with Mawdryn Undead, like a full, pretty much full, all of this.
No, honestly, legitimately, episode 2, the Brigadier remembering and that whole discussion with him and the Doctor was brilliantly done. So they took their time, they didn't rush it, the dialogue was
loved the
lucid and
flashbacks,
sensible
awesome.
and intelligent, and it was great,
Really
clever.
The flashback montage, because I completely forgot about that. Now, I may have watched this on transmission, but I don't remember it on transmission. As a Who fan, I mean, Suki, you'll have definitely seen it on transmission, and Craig as well, I imagine. I mean, I'd have lost my shit seeing all that awesome old Doctor Who because you didn't have it in 1984.
No,
so that was just class.
It is a massive jump, don't you think? It's like, right, we need to put more budget in. Like, you just before this, you had Tom Baker, and then wobbly sets, and it looks a bit shit. And near the end of his season, you're like, oh, come on, what they're going to do? And then this is just like a whole new game.
So professionally done. This one.
It looks
really
great.
good.
Even now, look good.
The set is beautiful, isn't it? It's all the reds and the opulence. You got all the kind of everything is like really over the top. It's almost kind of like 1940s Manhattan. Reminded me of
it was like Art Nouveau or
that's it.
Art Deco type thing. I don't know which one it is.
Dangerous going into art stuff there, Cliff.
Tried it.
It's interesting. But it's interesting you two saying that because I think you will have watched it without the CGI that's been added onto it, and it's mainly in the parts with the Black Guardian and Turlough and them bits they've sort of CGI'd a bit. But it's I don't remember them being that bad anyway at the time, but they've done them up a little bit. So it's good to know that you guys sort of saw that quality.
I have to say,
the older one.
there are issues.
Yeah.
I don't like Turlough. I'm really not convinced. I wasn't even 100%. I've only just, when I've read something recently that he was meant to be an alien that was hiding on Earth or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of that.
Was that your
it
first
doesn't
come
Turlo
out,
experience?
Yeah, it was. And it's the words "I hate Earth," said Turlo. I'm thinking, well, what sort of fucking idiot says that? But now it makes a little bit sense.
Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed seeing Tegan there and Nissa and Turlo's mate, Ibbotson.
Is that
He runs
hippo?
like he's got no control over his arm. It's like he's got no control over his arm. He's suffering from an ear canal balance issue and he's perpetually on the verge of falling onto his fucking stupid face.
And why are they friends anyway? Because he's just insulting to him all the time, isn't he?
Oh, that's the dynamic that happens.
I think that Ibbotson, the actor Stephen Garlick, he's there. He's probably in his mid-20s and he's trying to play a 17, 18-year-old. And that's what he's thinking, how a 17, 18-year-old
There was no lads in it. These were all over 20.
Yeah,
he's trying to play it, and it
wasn't even convincing. It wasn't even convincing.
I don't know if they did that because it was BBC and they didn't put young lads in at that time or something.
I don't what Jimmy Savile was around the building.
There's more than Jimmy Savile.
The thing is, they put the young lads in with really, really short shorts, didn't they?
I know.
But back in the day, that was what you had to wear.
I never noticed that.
Didn't you, Craig?
As I pressed
I was
pause.
thinking, that is Craig's.
Yeah, but I was distracted by the really, really bad theme music at the same time while they were on doing the jogging. But yeah, because I wanted to know, Cliff, you said you loved it. Did you love the music?
Some of it I actually did.
I
complemented quite well. Some of it had the old school Doctor Who, which was a bit, shit. But it had quite a few good 80s synth in it, which worked.
It wasn't. The music wasn't invasive as it has been in other ones we've watched recently.
Well, like Sea Devils and stuff.
And it was quite happy, like Sea Devils, exactly. And it was quite happy to step back and let the dialogue just do its thing without interruptions and things. And that was why that part 2 was particularly good because there
was a couple of bits with the music though that I did find a bit overbearing, crescendo-y in certain scenes, which was kind of meant to be adding to the tension, but it was kind of more like an obvious this is happening. But overall, I thought the music was
especially
interesting.
Whenever Turlo was on screen, it go do.
Like,
and then
he's naughty. He's a baddie.
He literally crept about the ship for about 40 minutes straight. I don't know what it is, but he was always sneaking about the ship, looking shifty.
Yeah, the thing is, you've got a character that's motivation, or he's been forced to kill the Doctor, and he can't really have him in close contact with the Doctor, and you'll see it in the later stories as well. Yeah, in that they have to sideline him away from the Doctor, so he's a character that's come with a bit of a disadvantage.
He's a companion now.
Yeah,
he becomes a companion.
I saw the bit at the end, and I just thought, no, they won't be, because why would you?
No, he becomes a companion. Yeah,
so he becomes a companion. Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's cool because
I like it.
Yeah, the Turlo thing's really interesting because you've got this guy that's essentially trying to kill the Doctor, which is just weird and never heard of before. And then, without spoilers, John, he eventually defeat the Black Guardian and he becomes a member of the crew and all that. And Mark Strickson, right, who plays him, he's a brilliant theatre actor. And he definitely comes across on screen because he's so fucking over the top. I love him. I love Turlo. And I do love Mark Strickson as well. He's brilliant. He does come out the screen, doesn't he? Fucking hell.
If you listen to the commentary, because I watched this story twice last night, and the second time was with the commentary this time.
Wow.
And you got Peter Davison and Mark Strickson, Nicholas Corning.
Again.
I know, he must have got some sleep.
I don't get no sleep. I've had no sleep. And Eric Sayward. And then there's the Mark Strickson goes on about how he's come into this story. This is like brand new for him, and the pace of things, the way they were recording everything. But he did point out that he'd like to do things with his hands, and that he kept buttoning up his jacket all the while. In fact, there's more in scenes in the same scene. He seems to be buttoning up his jacket about 2 or 3 times because he needed to have things to be doing. And he also liked to, whenever somebody's making a dramatic explanation or whatever, and he's in the background, he'd like to stand in the camera's eye lens, basically, just stand there and button up his jacket or start fiddling around with his hands or doing things. Right, that way, the speech, he gets distracted and they look at him instead. He was a very naughty boy on that in that set on that program.
Like I said, the acting was generally fantastic all the way through. But Turlo, as you say, was a little bit OTT. But he's ginger. What are you gonna do?
Well, he's not ginger. He's blonde. He dyed his hair ginger,
What?
which is another
Really?
awesome thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You've actually ruined my childhood because I just thought he was like a ginger hero.
No, you look at his eyebrows. Look at his eyebrows. Look at his eyebrows. You've got ginger hair, and his eyebrows are slightly more blonde.
Which does give him an alien quality. I think there's an alien quality to Mark Strickson, and I think that applies
His
in
eyes.
real life as
Yeah,
well.
he's got that like David Bowie type.
Yeah.
He's
Wild.
off this world. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. You're talking rubbish. Yeah.
I
thought
thought
the Black Guardian was excellent. I loved his voice.
Loved
I loved his voice. It was a great voice.
He'd have been a famous actor, Sucky.
Yeah, Valentine Dial.
Oh yeah, I know.
Never heard of
The
him.
Man in Black. He used to do radio shows back in the 40s and 50s, and his voice was such like that. All right, and deep,
mellifluous.
and he used to go around doing these ghost stories back on the radio, and then according to again the commentary this time, right, he'd like to keep his voice at that certain level, and the only way he could do it was he used to smoke a pipe all the while, and even though when he was close to death, he was still smoking his pipe because he was the way these actors on the commentary were talking about him was that he didn't want to lose his voice. So he always carry on used to smoke at that point.
And that's a little bit of bullshit there because he carried on smoking pipe because he was addicted to smoking pipes.
Probably, but it also kept his
not in order to keep his voice so great as he died on his bed.
This is according to the lads on the commentary.
Yeah.
There's been loads of artists that did that. There's famously Joe Cocker used to say the only reason to do acid is to lubricate my throat and I can't feel the pain. It's like, no, you're off your tits.
I used to say I smoked because it kept a gruff, gravelly voice. But it's bullshit. It's just it's in your head, isn't it? And also you're just really addicted to smoking. The
Black Guardian. Can we talk about his headwear though? Because I struggle. I love his velvety, but the bird just brings it massively down. Why would you want that?
I think that's got historical, or at least in fiction, it's got some historical.
The Raven.
Yeah, the Raven headwear thing is. I think if it was a Raven, I don't know what it was, but. I'm sure I've seen that shit before.
Did he wear this in this previous story? Because they just copied his look from the Armageddon Factor.
I don't think he does in that one, does he? No, because
it's more like
black.
Like
it works for me. It works for me. Yeah.
Oh no, I find it really, really. Every time you see it, it's like the feathers around the back of his head. It's a nice. It just looks.
People used to wear animals on their heads a lot in the olden days.
Still looks bad. It's no excuse to bring it back.
No, I'm not saying he's bringing it back. I'm saying he's an alien and he's referencing the historical headwear. But yeah, I don't see.
I used to wear seals for shoes. Imagine that, massive seals for shoes. You'd be running like fucking that lad at the beginning, wouldn't you?
Spanner. Right, yeah. Actually, we did get that cliffhanger, the Turlo with the rock above the Doctor.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Proper cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Not a shitty little cliffhanger. It was a very good one.
Yeah.
There was some great. I mean, the other cliffhangers, the other cliffhangers as well, with Mawdryn when he's revealed and they've tricked him to be the Doctor. He's brilliant. And also, what's the guy that plays Mawdryn who was in Robots of Death, Sucky?
David Collins.
Yeah, awesome. He's absolutely brilliant, and I just love it all.
I think it's really well crafted, that bit, actually, Bob, because you could actually see that they will believe it is the Doctor because it fits so well into the story. It all folds really well together. There's no kind of
the brain
effects, quite that brain shit going moving.
Oh, spaghetti.
Ah, that was really scary as a kid watching that.
With Tom Baker's coat on as well, with the Doctor's coat on, make it even more, a bit more. I just thought it was great.
I thought they was baddies were quite a good concept, especially the idea that they're kind of like they've attempted to take immortality, and it's just an endless pain.
Felt sorry for them in the end.
I was going to say they're not baddies, are they?
Yeah,
they were.
I wouldn't class them as baddies. Just
they were the antagonists at some point who was trying to nick the TARDIS and do all to get the Doctor to do stuff.
And the infected Teague and Nyssa. I've
lost my thread now. Craig.
Sorry, well, just when he said they weren't baddies, it was Tegan and Nissa. I'm like, they infected Tegan and Nissa, so they aged and then became that really two young kids with a bouffant hair out here, which was particularly Nissa.
Yeah, Nissa looked a little bit brain dead.
The commentary when they Tegan and Nissa, Sarah Sutton and Jenna Fielding are in their old age makeup. Right, Peter Davison comments, "Oh, this is them without their makeup on in their normal. What we got to eat just."
I'll tell you what,
he loves ripping into Gemma.
I love Suki, right? Is that we caught you out the info text when me and Craig started to watch it. Now you're going on commentary because you know that we won't do that, so you get information from there. But at least you've been honest about it this time. I like your honesty in this.
I was honest last time as well. I'm pretty sure I was.
Well, it's okay. But I'm enjoying the commentary angle. But yeah, Mawdryn, awesome. The concept of these people, awesome. I mean, there's
writing great.
The writing was great. I mean, there probably is a lot of holes in this plot, but I don't care, and I don't really want to look into it personally that deep because I just enjoy it as it goes. I think Peter Davison said that as well. He said when he got the script, he's like, "What the fuck?" And when he said when he saw it on the telly, it didn't matter. It kind of all just made sense.
Eventually it did, but for God's sake, don't miss a little bit of part 2 and part 3 because you'll be like me and like, what the fuck is going on?
It's just the way it all fed together. Like Tegan realised that she was in the wrong time because it was a jubilee and things like that. So it was all just subtly done. There was no like kind of big reveals. Yeah. It was just nicely placed. But thinking of holes, how did Mawdryn, when he was in the TARDIS all burnt with his rags on, how did he suddenly get his clothing? You know, not that I was thinking about this too much, but suddenly he's all dressed in his gown. It's like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
it was like a burnt wreck.
I realised that.
I thought about that.
I'm just thinking it's part of his regeneration thing that happens. He's just
self-making clothes.
Well, the doctor changed his boots in one of the regenerations, so it might happen to Mawdryn as well.
What? But they're not Time Lords, are they?
But I dare say that wasn't their basis for like, all right, we'll have him unclothed and then we'll clothe him because of that boot scene in some fucking previous episode.
Bring it up. That costume though. There's a certain scene where he's in his full garb and he has to reach up to get press something, and there's a split just underneath his armpit, and you can see the t-shirt underneath there. It just looks bad.
Talking of the Mawdryn lot, the way they moved was really fucking cool.
Yes, they do flow.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
All in one flowing. That's cool.
It's like a kind of dance thing that he's done where but like it was really eerie.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I thought it was great for an alien.
Yeah, that movement though, that just reminds me going back all the way to the beginning of Doctor Who when the Daleks were conceived, and it's a case of we're having a monster. But we're not having a humanoid monster. We're having something that just trundles along. It doesn't have any legs, and you could just go back to say it's the same sort of thing with these Mawdryn and his friends.
They did look cool as well. Like all of Mawdryn, you could tell he had a bit more effort on him, but the rest of them, he looked really cool.
Yeah.
And like Cliff touched on before, you felt sorry for him. You know, they fucked up. But the fucking were just tortured, you know, and all that kind of stuff. It were cool. That
I think they are an example of like the good writing as well, because when they were doing their monologue bit, when they were trying to persuade the Doctor, it was really good writing. It was really tight writing, and the peril of the Doctor and the 12 regenerations bullshit, which has since disappeared.
It did make me think. I thought,
that was a really good idea. Yeah,
but. That also, I mean, that's the biggest plot hole there. They're trying to kill themselves or trying to find a way to
engineer a death. Drive into the sun or something.
Yeah, do something like that, or just go around disintegrating yourself or whatever.
Maybe it's like Groundhog Day to them. They've tried it or just keep coming back.
Well, maybe if they tried to just drive into the sun, they would be still alive yet, actually burning.
But they can't control the ship, can they?
No. All right. Yeah.
No, they can't control the ship. It's on a 70-year
bubble or something.
Oh, which, by the way, the ship was amazing.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it was all right, cool.
There's no strings there or someone holding it for shaking it.
It was based on the Flying Dutchman. This whole thing, these people leave the ship or whatever. So that's where he got the idea from, because it's quite a unique some quite unique Doctor Who, I think, anyway. I don't think I've seen one before it or after it that's similar to this, which is always good Doctor Who. Brigadier, though,
he was
hell.
fantastic.
Yeah.
He was great.
Double Courtney. Oh my God.
But I was really pleased that he's one of those old-fashioned types that does, he's stiff upper lip and all that stuff. But he's not cruel with it. He was gentle and kind with it, and it's really nice. It's a fatherly figure.
He was so cool as well. The way that you said before about that scene when his memory's coming back, because as a viewer and someone that's loves, like, if you first time you see the Brigadier, it'd be different. But someone like when I saw this, I'd seen loads of Brigadier and I loved the Brigadier. And then to him not to remember Doctor was incredibly unsettling. Even unsettled me this time, and I know kind of what's going on. Oh my God, the Brigadier can't. What's happened to him, and there's a genuine concern about him. And obviously, the way it transpires in the writing and the direction is brilliant. Because it kind of then comes really full circle to the that's why. And then something's going to happen as it's building up. And it's, that just you have to suspend belief a little bit because of the scene at the end.
Really,
just the one bit, John, which is when the Brigadier manages to touch himself.
Yeah,
at the exact millisecond the Doctor's about to give up his lives. And I don't care because it's just such.
That's the whole. That's nothing wrong with that. Just stick it in the story. It made sense.
He wasn't just put in. Well, for the sake of do you remember this character? They had him doing something which was great. He was written in more than any of the companions, really.
Oh, Tegan and Nyssa were completely disregarded this episode.
Just apart from looking good,
especially
they did look good actually in this. Their outfits are much better.
But Nyssa was like proper. I don't know whether she just couldn't be asked to act.
Yeah, she seemed
a couple of times she just couldn't be asked to act by the looks of it.
It felt like it got Sarah Sutton and just gone. So she was stood there waiting for action, and they went action, and then she was like,
"Where have you been?"
It was weird because she's good. When there's an episode where there's the two have been this time flight where it's just there is. I don't know if it's that flight. Sorry, but the one where just with Peter when Tegan's left and whatever, it's just got Nyssa and the Doctor.
Snake Dance.
No, it's just them two. Arc of Infinity, and. They're just them two, and they're brilliant together. They're a great pairing. But in all the other ones, she just seems to. I don't know.
The first couple of episodes, she was fine.
Yeah,
first couple of episodes, she was fine. And the last couple of episodes, she just turned off.
I just think the clash them two. They're too similar in ways, and it makes you think have they got an off-screen clash as well? They don't seem to have chemistry there.
Who's that? Who are you talking about?
Janet Fielding and Sarah Sutton.
No, they get on really well.
Oh, they're best mates.
Oh, are they?
Really well.
Oh, wow.
They get on really well.
That's added to my brain.
No, it's just, but it's because of the character of Tegan, though, that she's been sidelined a lot in these stories. And because they've also split the companions and the Doctor up, Tegan becomes the main character, and this sort of becomes a board that she bounces off of. So that she can be able to pull the story
exposition reason.
And she does a lot of exposition because she understands what's going on. So she's the one that comes out with some of the gobbledygook that needs to help the story carry on. And so it makes it a bit less interesting.
It's always been the hardest thing with Doctor Who when they get more than one or two companions, things start going rocky. But I think the way when they brought in Turlough, because he has that ulterior motive, when you see the other episodes with him in and the other stories, you sort of, because as a viewer, you're gunning thinking, oh, what the fuck is he going to do? He doesn't know. Is he going to get found out? And he's got that little conflict. And I don't think you've had that since, really.
That's a good thing to stick into a story.
Yeah.
It makes him unique, doesn't it? Because this time you actually don't trust him. So he's not just one of the companions.
Like 3 companions going, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the way he's doing all the shifty stuff around there, but trying to cover it over. He's got
a shifty face, like Bob says. He's very dramatic in his face movements and the way he does things, probably because of the theatre. So he's like.
The thing is with this character.
Was that Mark Frickson just on my screen? Oh, sorry, Shep. I mistook you for him then. That was so good.
Well, he's not Ginger. You fucking ruined my life. I'm telling you.
Can we have a quick? We have not really mentioned Peter Davison's Doctor this time, but I think he was excellent all the way through.
He was really good in this. Very strong.
Because you get the feeling sometimes when Peter Davison is looking into the distance that there's not a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
But you didn't this time. You got the feeling that it made sense when he was staring at things, thinking. You got the feeling that he was thinking. I don't know whether he enjoyed this performance particularly, but it was very strong because there was a lot of dialogue, and I think he really flew on that one.
There's a couple of occasions where Turlough sort of gives exposition that a schoolboy wouldn't actually know. And Peter Davison looks at him, but carries on with the dialogue. In the commentary, he says, I would have played that different if I'd have realised a bit more about what was supposed to be happening in the future episodes. Right? He should have been able to think, that person shouldn't know that. He should know about time travel.
Yeah, there's that time when he said something technical, and the Doctor kind of didn't react like I'd expected him to.
And that's what Peter Davison, when he was doing the commentary, he was saying that I should have played that differently. I should have been able to go, that's there's something else going on with this person. And that's probably one of the reasons why you see the Doctor at the end take him on board, because he knows he doesn't really belong in 1980s England.
Yeah.
He knows
I was going to say, with Peter Davison in this one, there's some really subtle moments that are fantastic, particularly when he's making the decision to basically become not a human or no longer a Time Lord and all that kind of stuff. There's something it's very subtle, but there's a lot of emotion going on in there somewhere in the turmoil. But I think the thing about Peter Davison's Doctor, and I really, really, really like Peter Davison's Doctor, it's he's not much fun, if that makes sense. He doesn't make many jokes or quips or things like that. He plays it because William Hartnell was his Doctor, so he plays it quite straight. which works, which is great, and he does have a bit of innocence to it as well.
Sorry, I'd agree with that. I think he was strong, but I mean, I think I've seen him as worse episodes where he's been pretty terrible. But likewise, he's definitely up there as one of my favourite Doctors, I think.
See, it's during the making of this season that he decides to leave. Right,
really?
Following season, it's during this. He says, "I'm going now," and one of the reasons he
But he didn't say I'm going.
Yeah, he's going. It's one of the reasons he said that he's going is because there's certain things he wanted to do with the character, but he wasn't allowed to do, and which was like inject more humour into the story.
Similar to why Tom Baker left as well.
Yeah, Tom Baker. Well, Tom Baker probably just got a bit tired, and he was told, bits.
He didn't fit.
You can't make it. You can't do it like this. Stick to the script. Don't do it and this stuff. But Peter Davison wanted to put humour in and make it a bit more jokey, to be able to make it less humorous. But he was just told by John Nathan Turner, no.
I think with a bit of less humour, he does seem a little bit more alien. Which is kind of you don't get the feeling that it's a human when you talk when he's there. I mean, I don't know what other ones I've seen him in, but this was definitely one of the stronger ones.
He's quite anxious as a Doctor, isn't he? I always get the feeling that he's trying to please everyone, but he's also lost a little bit because obviously his regeneration kind of failed. I always get that right through. He's doesn't know which way to go. He's easily led or kind of bullied by other people, like particularly Tegan. But in this, he seems much stronger, like he does in Caves of Androzani and Earthshock.
Yeah, this one I liked. I'm not a big fan of his because I honestly don't think he's that much of a good actor with Doctor Who. But knowing that what Josh Suki said now to say that he had he wanted to play it in a different way, that might have been the reason why in the later stories, you don't get much feeling from him. Maybe he played the character a bit colder than what he should have. Especially when
Caves of Androzani, you see the Doctor that I know it's his last adventure, but you see the Doctor Peter Davison always wanted to be in full. Where I think you see a lot of glimmers of him, but the Caves of Androzani is awesome. Like that is top performance.
Again, with his performance over the 3 years, every time he started a season, he'd get really good storylines, and then towards the end, the money sort of would dry up, and you'd just be struggling to finish the story properly. I mean, Time Fight was bad. They cancelled the story in the second season, and then he finished. He wanted to stop on apparently in the third season. He decided to change his mind, but by then Colin Baker had already been announced. But you can see from the way the story each season progresses, it's just he starts off quite with it, happy, And then towards the end, when everything sort of dries up, he's like, "Oh my god, what am I doing in this depressing crap?" And that's why Peter.
Yeah, but I always think, regardless of what you're doing, you should put your head down. You're getting paid to do the job. You know what I mean? So there's an element of, is he just being a bit of a mad ass and going, "Oh, I'll just play it like this." Like what we think of Nisa in this one, you can think, "Oh, what's she playing it like that for? Do your job." You know what I mean?
Peter Davison, I mean, all the things I've seen of him, he's never struck me as being like that at all, you know, Mardy or whatever. But it's, but you know, it's, I can never fault personally. I can't remember a fault from Peter Davison or playing the Doctor from all of the adventures I've seen of him.
What I would say is that like Peter Davison doesn't have the base charisma that like people like Tom Baker does.
No, he doesn't. No,
so
no.
he
just couldn't find his footing.
I mean, he's good, but he doesn't have that level of charisma that probably we kind of got used to expecting. Troughton.
Oh yeah.
You know, all of these are massively charismatic, and he was
much more normal.
Colin Baker as well was a lot less charismatic than.
I tell you what, viewing figures as well, because when we covered Meglos, wasn't it, last time?
Yeah.
And they're down to like 4.2 million. Well, this stays in a midweek time slot around that sort of 7 o'clock, or going over the 7 o'clock mark. But it's right up to 7.4, 7.5 million again. So, you know, you've got Tom Baker, who was, you know, one, if not the most popular Doctor Who, and was pulling in 18 million viewing figures, and it dips so low, but it actually does start to claw back in a similar time slot as well, doesn't it? In this evening.
Yeah,
I think it is a similar time slot. Sorry, sir.
At this time, we're getting more things on to compete against it. That was why I think. Lower
7 o'clock. Was it 7 o'clock on a Tuesday and a Thursday? That's what my memory tells me as a kid.
Wednesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, 7:15.
Yeah,
right. But going back to them ratings, the actual. I've got it written down. Going back to them ratings, I mean, it's 6.5, 7.5, 6.5, and I think 6.8, I think it was. But the actual ranking, they're outside the top 100.
Yeah,
the first
that's
episode.
mental, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Right. So you got 6.5 million, but it was actually 103.
Oh, is this on that list of 241 whatever Doctor Who?
No, that week
week.
for TV.
A week.
Oh, right. No, I don't.
Yeah, so 102 shows were had better viewing.
Doctor Who.
Talking of which, what was the ranking of this story on the list
out of interest.
a million.
Craig,
Craig.
We haven't done it. I'll have to find it on my phone while you chat. I've not done that for ages.
While you're doing that, we'll probably try to wrap this up a little bit. So I'm going to come around each of you. Not come around each of you. That sounds weird.
I'll take a while, John. And also be very entertaining for YouTube, not the audio listeners.
I'm going to spaff out some information for. No, I want you to give me your final ideas in a couple of words to describe how you feel. Bob.
Just awesome. That'll do for me. My 2 words. I just think it's just great. It's constantly keeps you thinking. It constantly keeps you engaged. It's complicated in a weird way. Might not make total sense. It's got double brigadier. Everyone's just awesome. It's just got loads of crazy shit going on. When you think you've seen the craziness, it gets crazier, and I love that. I just think it's perfect Doctor Who for me personally.
Excellent.
Just awesome.
Cliff?
Great fun, brilliant story. It shows how it was a good story because the like Suki announced then, the actual viewing was going up rather than down. So people was interested and invested into watching what's going to happen next. Really enjoyed it. I love the character as well, and my 2 words are sexy ladies.
All right. Okay.
Did you hear the wolf whistle? Hear the wolf whistle when they're taken round?
Yes.
If you watch some of the that's been added in post production by the looks of it, because if you notice some of the film trims and the extras on the DVD. It's not there, right? So somebody's added a wolf whistle as Tegan runs up. This is just lovely story. That's my 2 words for this. Lovely story. Because it brings back the Brigadier, which is great, and it's just nostalgia. The whole memory of him returning and coming back, and you see all that. I was so happy when I saw that, because you saw all these old monsters. It's fantastic. Do you want to say something, Cliff?
Just a quick one, because I thought you might know this, but Peter Moffat, the director, is he related to Stephen Moffat, or is that no?
No.
All right,
no.
okay.
I was going to say, actually, that's one thing I did forget to mention. It's written by Peter Grimwade and directed by Peter Moffat. And both have, big credentials in Doctor Who, and both have put out some brilliant Doctor Who in whatever format they're doing. Because Peter Grimwade was a Doctor Who director as well. He did some class stories.
Yeah.
So you had a big, that's a strong foundation, for this to be successful, which for me, it was. I'm done. I've spoken.
Right. Good stuff. Craig, what about your final thoughts and 2 words, and tell us where it ranks?
The ranking is 117. So it's
What?
Really? 117 out of 241. So it's roughly
Bullshit.
halfway, isn't it? Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
This survey, wankers.
I see. I'm controversial.
What a
I'm not
bunch of cunts.
I know. Should be higher. But I'm not a big Brigadier lover. So
Liar.
no, I'm not. But I do
Not
really
even with that moustache.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. He looks like he literally believes in the Rembrandt in Manchester on Canal Street. But it's like, it really is a good story. It's, for me, 2 words: refreshingly original. It was great. It's not based under siege. It's conceptually great, well acted. I loved the way the mysteries of the different time zones came together. I did really think that Tegan and Nissa looked really pretty. Even I thought they were quite sexy, but not in an actual way. But yeah, no, it was good. A great episode.
Well, my 2 words are going to be mustachioed mayhem.
Yes.
But yeah, I was just blown away by how good the dialogue and the acting was, which in a show that, let's be honest, guys, occasionally has shit acting and shit dialogue.
Really? I've never
But it was
noticed
very,
that.
very good. And Suki wants a final word.
Just something that I want to ask you guys. Now, the Brigadier obviously wasn't meant to be the main character in this story.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to be Ian Chesterton and then maybe Harry Sullivan.
Mm.
But they used Brigadier because nobody else was available. So with the whole unit timeline thing, it's all out of whack because he'd becoming a teacher. I mean, this might go over John's head, but there's also a White Guardian.
It's not about going over my head, it's just about me lacking it, caring about it. So.
There's a White Guardian as well, right? And I think there was a little sentence that was said about a level of coincidence that's going to happen in this story. It was actually mentioned in the story. So do you think the White Guardian was involved in getting the Brigadier to that position to know that... because he knows
like
his
a
stuff.
clever
Are
game of
you
chess with
talking
everyone.
about
Yeah.
outside of the actual show canon
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Why?
No, because it's within the show's canon, because the White Guardian
it is.
appears
But
2 stories later.
Did
Yeah,
they
and
show that the White Guardian put the Brigadier there?
Well, White Guardian,
Then
the
it
Black
didn't
Guardian.
fucking happen. Come on,
White
guys.
Guardian, the Black
It's a good
Guardian are known
theory.
to do these sort of things.
Theory,
It's a good theory. Good theory.
Yeah.
I
Really
thought it was
good.
good theory, actually.
Utterly without any merit at all.
Good theory, Tucky.
I love the
like
way
that
John
one.
is like big on theories and he's just dissing you, Sunky.
No, there's no
it's
such
kind of
thing
one.
as theories. If you don't see it on the screen, it doesn't happen. No, I'm not. I know what you mean, but
No.
I don't know anything about a white because it didn't appear in this story that we're talking about.
This is true, John.
And there's one line I also want to mention, which I thought was great. One of Mawdryn's friends called him the Brigadier. He's a deviant. I thought that was-
Oh, the producer was a deviant. That's
BBC's in the 70s,
yeah. There was all that.
80s even. Yeah. All right, guys. So have we got any feedback or anything?
There was some feedback.
What's
All
that?
right.
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
no, we haven't got any feedback. And if there is any
There-
feedback,
there-
it will
there was-
magically appear.
Everybody loved it.
Magic of editing, it will magically appear at this point now.
Should we
right.
pick? Should we pick the next story?
Oh,
Do we have to do that?
yeah.
Who do you want to go first, John?
I'll go, Bob. I want you first.
Do you know what? I'm feeling a bit crazy. I'm going to pick Time Lash.
oh, cool.
I am. I'm feeling like just going a bit out there. Feel like a bit of controversy, but I remember really liking the Time Lash, but not many people do. So
Obviously, 2 questions.
Colin Baker
And how many episodes?
4 episodes.
2.
2?
Nah.
Yeah, but they're 50 minutes long.
Yeah, you
don't be.
bastards. Don't try and trap me, Bob. Right, Cliff, what do you want?
5 Doctors.
Oh yeah.
We're still on that band.
Because I really wanted to do that one.
Okay.
And plus, you see things with this. If you do get it. So it's just good.
Suki?
Yeah, I want to go with, because I'm not really that brilliant with Peter Capaldi, so I also might go over his ear again. So I want to do Deep Breath.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, and well, Craigie, what do you want to do?
I'll go with the Impossible Astronaut, Matt Smith.
All right. Oh, that Five Doctors, is that, which one's that one? Is that a New Who one?
No,
No.
Peter Davison
Okay.
and before.
So I'm going to
Doctors
ignore the New
before.
Who's and I'm going to pick Time Lash because
Time Lash.
Could be Time Lash, right?
Get on the
250
lash.
250-minute episodes is
Let's
doable.
roll this D6, and it is a 3, which means it's me. It's Time Lash.
Time Lash. I may regret this, but
I'm actually really excited about that because, like Paul, I've got a memory of loving this story, but it's really.
we're at the Suki showing his DVDs on the screen.
Well,
Here
here we
we
are,
stage,
here we are.
the podcast.
John, it's got that character that was in Blake 7.
Paul
Paul
Darrow.
Darrow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's brilliant. Paul Darrow's fucking excellent.
Yeah. I
Do we have
can
any
imagine.
feedback, Suki?
Yeah, we got one piece of feedback.
Do you want to read it
Go
out?
for it.
And that is from Who News. And he says, or they say, cracking story. Nicholas Courtney slips effortlessly back into the Brigadier. The right level of creepiness to Mawdryn and his companions. Great performance by David Collins. Tegan Turlow and Nissa never feels like a crowded TARDIS. Thank you very much for that.
Excellent. Thank you.
very much.
And I reckon that's the end of this podcast. So thank you, everybody. And we'll speak to you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.
No,
Bye, YouTube.
fuck off.